We begin with the economy. A survey of economists polled by the Wall Street Journal say there's a more than 60% chance the U.S. will enter a recession in the coming 12 months as the Federal Reserve battles to bring down persistently high inflation. It's the first time the survey put the probability of a recession above 50% since July of 2020, which was in the wake of the last short but sharp recession. Not easing economists' concerns, the latest inflation report released just Thursday. The Consumer Price Index, a measure of what consumers pay for goods and services, rose 0.4%. That's double what economists had expected, and that key measure of inflation rose just 0.1% in August. The latest inflation report likely won't quell the concerns of the Federal Reserve, which has hiked rates 5 times this year. Here's the response from President Biden.
Our economy is strong as hell, and the internals are. Inflation is worldwide. It's worse off everywhere else than it is in the United States. So the problem is the lack of economic growth and sound policy in other countries, not so much ours. And that's having, it's worldwide inflation. It's consequential.
Well, the president and Democrats are looking to fend off fears of a recession ahead of the November midterms this weekend. White House correspondent Kellen Howell is live in Washington, D.C. with more. And maybe you can explain a little bit about what Biden was saying. It was a little hard to hear him with the ice cream that he was eating. Hey, Kellen.
Hi, Lindsay. Well, you know, the president and the White House have been really adamant for the last couple of months as prices have continued to rise. And with each of these jobs reports and inflation reports have come in, you know, they've been really adamant that the U.S. economy will be able to avoid a recession. But we've started to see some cracks in that line of defense or in that line of rhetoric. Even just this past week, President Biden admitting in an interview that a recession, a slight recession is possible, but not likely. But with the midterms less than 30 days away, White House officials are really doubling down this weekend, trying to tamp down those fears.
With less than 30 days to go until midterm elections, the White House is seeking to paint a rosier picture of America's inflation problem this weekend. White House economic advisor Cecilia Rouse on Sunday defended the slow progress the Biden administration has made on bringing prices down, arguing that the Federal Reserve's aggressive interest rate hikes are starting to work.
So we are starting to see signs that our red-hot economy is starting to cool. And so we know that because of that strength, we're better positioned than most other countries for the Fed to achieve its dual goals.
But those steps might not be working fast enough. In a new Wall Street Journal survey, economists predicted a 63% chance of a recession in the next 12 months, up from 49% in July. Administration officials insist that the White House is doing everything it can to prevent that, but caution it will take some more time to see results.
Look, it's possible but not inevitable, and we're doing everything we can to strengthen the foundations of the American economy.
A majority of Americans, 56%, now say higher prices are causing financial hardship, according to a September Gallup poll. And increasing costs are top of mind for voters going to the polls in November. Republicans are seizing on opportunities to hold their Democratic opponents accountable when it comes to the state of the economy. Like in Colorado, where GOP Senate candidate Joe O'Dea slammed incumbent Democrat Michael Bennet over his vote to pass the Inflation Reduction Act.
This inflation's been caused by the $1.9 trillion reckless spending bill that got put in place by Michael Bennet. He cast the deciding vote back in March of last year. It's caused record inflation.
Bennet, along with the White House, argue the cost-cutting measures of the Inflation Reduction Act will take time to kick in.
The cap on drug prices for seniors and the requirement, finally, we overcame pharma to have a requirement that Medicare negotiate drug prices on behalf of the American people, capping insulin at $35 a month. I mean, these are things that are going to take a while to put in place.
But with the elections closing in, time is not on the Democrats' side. And GOP leaders are confident they will be able to flip the House and the Senate to red.
They are furious with Biden and Pelosi's far-left socialist agenda that's led to increased spending, increased inflation, just the cost of everything you buy when you go to the grocery store, if you can even afford to put gas in your car when you get there.
Now, Lindsay, the White House has also argued that it's important for Americans to keep inflation in perspective, and they've said multiple times that this isn't just a U.S. problem, it's a global problem, pointing to other countries in Europe that are experiencing high inflation as well. And they also point to strong job numbers and employment, which they say will help fend off a recession.
All right, White House correspondent Kellen Howell live in Washington, D.C. for us tonight. Thank you, Kellen.